How's it going? Welcome back. Welcome back to me because I've been away. I've been very busy, but welcome back to y'all to stream too. How's it going? I think we're gonna make some like red sauce today. That's kind of the plan. I might cook up some Brussels sprouts with it and some pasta. I had some leftover roasted Brussels sprouts. Actually, funny story about these Brussels sprouts. I I was at a party on Saturday. I was at a party on Saturday and I got really drunk and decided to make junchies for everyone. And I wanted to make. I looked in their fridge. I looked in this person's fridge and or my friend's fridge and um, looked through their fridge and saw some Brussels sprouts. And I wanted to make something really simple and really easy because I was super drunk. And I picked up these Brussels sprouts, but what ended up happening was that I made them way, way, way too salty. They were like not edible salty. So I took them home and I'm gonna try to figure out ways to use it up so I don't have to waste some food. But today, what we're gonna do is gonna make a red sauce, a tomato sauce from canned tomatoes. We're gonna introduce some spices into it. We're gonna bloom these spices. I have fennel, um, shajira, black mustard seeds, and yellow mustard seeds in this for my whole spices. Then I have bay leaves. In here, I have bay leaves, oregano, some dried Thai basil, and some gochugaru, Korean red pepper paste. I'm making a mess because I'm spilling all of my spices everywhere. That's okay. We'll just collect them up real quick. But we're gonna make this pretty like standard Italian mother sauce, Italian red sauce type of deal. Just with the introduction of some of these spices to really hopefully add a background note to these dishes. We're also gonna do some ginger, some garlic, and some onions. I need to find my mortar and pestle because I don't know where it is. I found it. So I have my mortar and pestle. I'm really excited to be back doing stream. I feel like I've gotten out of the groove of it because I've been so incredibly busy with my day job. So for those of you who don't know, I work as a consultant during the day, as a software consultant. I've mentioned it a few times during stream before, but that's what I do to make money and to pay the bills. And it's just been incredibly busy, and I needed some time away, like some me time that wasn't stream time, which kind of sucks because I use stream as an excuse to cook for myself. Because otherwise I don't really cook for myself. I eat actually pretty poorly, unfortunately. Lots of leftovers, lots of like ramen, lots of takeout. It's not the best, but um, you do what you have to do sometimes for work to pay the bills and whatnot. You do what you need to do for yourself. So I am now almost done with that project. I'm also just pounding away some ginger in here, trying to make a ginger paste. I'm gonna add garlic into this in just a second, and then a little bit of salt to help break it up. I just want to get the ginger going. But anyways, I was saying I was really busy with work, and I'm sure some of y'all can relate to that, maybe. But really busy with work, and I am so happy to be back here and back cooking again because cooking really lifts up my mood, and I've been not the most energetic mood lately. I've been very very tired, very fatigued, but I've been doing a lot. I was just on a podcast. Actually, it just got released today. We can maybe check it out together while we're eating. Although I feel like it's kind of weird listening to myself, but hey, I guess we can do it. It's fine. It's fine. We'll like go to some of the good parts. I really just want to listen to the one piece. We talked about authenticity a little bit, and I thought that was a really cool take. But it was on this podcast, my friend's podcast called the Politically Asian Podcast. It's run by two friends of mine, Jerry Lim and Aaron Lee Yi. I think it's Yi. I'm sorry. I'm exposing myself right now. Some friend I am. I don't even know his last name. But I had met them through the Asian Creative Network. mostly have interacted with Jerry. And after I had gotten lunch with Jerry, we went to Winsun. They had invited me to come on their podcast with them, which I thought was super cool. Super cool opportunity to go and speak about food. I always love any chance I can rant about food, I will take. But yeah, that's they invited me on to their podcast, and we kind of just shot the shit. It was a lot of fun. Add a little bit of salt here just to act as a abrasive, and draw out some of that moisture here so we get like a nice paste. But we talked about the state of the restaurant world now that New York is opening up again, and we talked a little bit about some restaurant economics, just some cultural stuff with regards to restaurants. I bet some of y'all are wondering why I'm pounding this with a mortar and pestle. It's just because I want to. Because sometimes pounding things with a mortar and pestle is fun. I don't often get a chance to do it. I realized today as I was opening my can of tomatoes I don't have a can opener yet, so I need to get a can opener. But I was trying to open this tomato can, and I ended up cutting myself a little bit. That's where my bandage is from. All is good. I was really bummed out when I made that Brussels sprouts dish, actually. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit, just about mentality, really, and just like, I tend to be my own harshest critic many times, as I'm sure some of y'all can relate. But I am incredibly hard on myself. But I just have a high standards, I guess I should say, which it lets me be who I am today, right? My standards and my desire for good tasting food and nothing less puts me in this position where I am today, where I care so much about food and eating and making good food that I've developed this kind of craft. But I was so upset. I was like, I was really actually like down on myself for this really salty dish. But I'm glad that we can come together here and really look at kind of ways you can save a failure, right? I think that's a really important part of cooking. That's how I learned how to cook. Learning how to correct my mistakes and learning how to kind of work with what I have to make something still edible and delicious. Even if my first vision of it or my first try at it wasn't what exactly I hoped for. Okay, so I have ginger and garlic mashed up here. This is about the point I want to take it. It's not super like pulpy. It's just kind of mashed and bruised, which is great. It's all going to break down in the sauce. And now I'm just going to dice an onion. Dice actually 3 onions. This will add sweetness to my tomato sauce. And just add some overall aroma to it. So I'm going to give this like a pretty, fairly fine dice. Same with all these other ones. What I do is for these small ones, I just cut it once horizontally. And then just down. And over like this. It's the fastest way to cut it. When I get to this end, I can kind of just cut around the root. And we'll have pretty soon a big pile of onions. I've been thinking a lot about what I want to do next with, what's my next food project I want to do, what kind of I want to start working on. And we really want to start working on, vending menus, right? Or, at least I want to start working on menus so I can pop up at different vending locations and start selling food so all y'all can try it. But I've been having a really hard time thinking about what kind of food exactly I want to make and what kind of food exactly I want to sell to people and how. I think the biggest business part at least, has been marketing. marketing is such an issue. I don't know if any of are there any other entrepreneurs here in the group, but um, I find marketing an incredibly difficult um, necessity, I guess, to creating and crafting a good quality business. I wish I went to school for business, honestly, and learned a little bit about marketing, but you don't have to go to school for everything. I didn't go to school to learn cooking, but something that would have been nice. But I can always still learn. I'm just happy that I have a good team with me. Very supportive. Also, happy Fourth of July, everyone. I know some people like Fourth of July and like celebrating Fourth of July. Um, what I usually do, or what my family usually does, is go see the fireworks nearby. Sometimes we'll go to the shore and see them, but usually just to a nearby park. This year I was in Brooklyn, so I went to the pier and saw the fireworks in there. It was actually really nice. I got to see it with some friends. I was learning how to skateboard too, so I skateboarded down there and completely fell on my face. Or not on my face, but completely wiped out. And now I have bruises all over my body. And it is very, very tiring, but it's okay. That's how you learn, right? You learn and get back up. Alright, my onions, chopped, diced, perfect. I have salted water over here. I'm going to turn on my stove and get that heated. In the meantime, I will switch. Actually, well, nothing's really going on there. I'm just going to get my stove heated and add some rapeseed oil because I don't have olive oil, but I love rapeseed oil. I'm using what's it called, a stainless steel pan. So the trick with stainless steel pans, for those of you who like hate stainless steel pans, is that in order to get them to like not stick all the time and not be a super big hassle, you need to get the pan hot itself, the metal pan itself. And then once the pan is hot, then you add oil. Then you have to heat the oil up. Then you can add your ingredients. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just heating up my pan slightly. I'll add some rapeseed oil in here. Just enough to coat it. Coat the bottom of the pan. So, actually a good amount of oil. And then we're going to bloom our spices in this as well. We're going to bloom the spices as the oil's heating up. These are just our harder spices, so our mustard seeds, our fennel seeds, our chajira, two kinds of mustard seeds. So those will bloom. Y'all can take a look at what that looks like. Right, not much to look at, but this is basically what you do when you're blooming spices. I'm gonna grab a wooden spoon, kind of make sure these are all incorporated into the oil, all coated, and then we'll eventually use our nose and ears to hear and smell the spices, and that'll tell us when it's ready for the rest of the aromatics to go in. This should be like a 30-minute tomato sauce, I think. That's kind of what the plan is. What the plan is, a 30-minute tomato sauce that you can use in a couple of different ways. I'm actually gonna make a bunch, or make a whole can's worth of tomato sauce and save it, and we'll kind of revisit that as we stream longer in different days for different uses of the tomato sauce. So today we're just gonna do pasta, but I've been thinking other dishes for this too, like a curry base, a shakshuka base, anything along those lines. I think would be very tasty. Yeah, I actually can't decide if I want to have pasta with it or if I just want to dip bread in it. Maybe both. Maybe I'll do a little bit of both because I have some paratha that I want to cook off too. Man, I feel like social media and streaming has been so tough. Not just for me, but I'm just saying in general, social media and like content creation is very hard, very challenging. which I never thought it was easy, right? I never thought that creating content was easy. But I think like anyone who wants to create content for a living and wants to like be entertaining, that's like a very commendable, truly. That's for me not something that like I don't think I want to make necessarily make content or always be like just like a funny creative guy. The content I always want to make is more educational and hopefully changing of a narrative. But um, you know, I consume more often than not like funny, entertaining media than I do consume educational, shaking media. So it's a interesting kind of dynamic to think about. I recently watched Ong Bak the other day. Ong Bak is a Thai kung fu movie. It was it kind of brought back a lot of feelings of like Jackie Chan Hong Kong style kung fu movies where it was like comical but like good fighting. Yeah, it is almost there. Almost there. I'm starting to smell it toasting. We want to hear them pop though. I don't hear them pop yet. There they go. Yep, now they're popping. Alright. So I have mustard seeds popping. I'm going to add onions now. Add our onions. A few cook away in that oil. We'll also add in our ginger garlic paste. And unlike Italian tomato sauces, what I'm going here for today is more along the lines of. Oh, what happened? Sorry, y'all. There it is. What I'm going for today is more along the lines of. I wanted like a South Asian inspired tomato sauce. One of those based off of like a South Asian tomato based curry. Um, I think that used in an application for like an Italian tomato sauce was really interesting for me. So I wanted to play around with that. Um, just taking some of the foundations that I know um, for South Asian cooking and applying them when making a tomato sauce. So I'm gonna, we've already bloomed some spices in this. We are caramelizing some onions and ginger and garlic, and then we'll add our spices, our masalas, and some bay leaves too, and it should be good. And then tomato, and then we'll cook it until it breaks, and then let it go some more, and then start the pasta, and then just toss it all together. A little bit of parm, maybe some mozz. I have a little bit of mozzarella, so maybe a little bit. We'll see how it goes, and then a little bit of those Brussels sprouts too, just to help fill me up tonight. This is kind of iteration one for me for what hopefully can be like a canned tomato sauce of our own. I'm adding just a touch more rapeseed oil just to help it brown up a little bit faster. I love the specks of spices in this. These spices are small, so you don't have to grind them. The mustard seeds, the chajira, and the fennel. Whole seeds are also very nice in this. Let's go a little longer, let it really brown. And in the meantime, actually, nah, I don't need to add this pasta yet. I'm gonna wait till the sauce really develops first, and then bring it back. do want some water. So all I'm looking for here is really for, I want brownness to happen. I want browning to happen down on the pan, down with the onions. I want a little bit of fond to start picking up, so a little bit of, you know, the goodies sticking to the bottom of the pan. And I just want kind of more deep toasted flavors for the spices before I add in our masalas into here, as well as our dried herbs. I hope everyone's 4th of July went well. I went home to see my family, to see my grandparents who I haven't seen in a while, and it's always so. I always feel so sad seeing them, unfortunately, because I feel like every time I see my grandfather, and I'm just adding bay leaves. These are Indian bay leaves, so they look a little different than like your Italian bay leaves, but they'll do. They add slightly different flavor, and I think it works for what we're doing. In this case, kind of introducing these like South Asian techniques and spices into an Italian red sauce. But I went to see my grandparents the other on Sunday. I went to see my grandparents on Sunday, and it's a little sad. I feel seeing them. So this is now Mexican oregano, gochugaru, and a little bit of dried Thai basil. Because my grandparents, or at least my grandfather, is very aware that he is going to pass at any second, any day now, and I think we all want him to hold on and whatnot, but I feel like his spirit has moved on almost, and he's now at the point where he's like, he just wants to pass on, right? And that's particularly sad to me. He mentions, he talks about how when I went to see him, he's like, why don't you come back more often? I don't know when I'm gonna see you next. Like I don't know when I'm gonna die. Like you should come see me more often because like I haven't seen you in a while. And that was like the first thing he said to me when I went to see him. It was really sad for me. Really like stark. Oh, that smells great. The spices are all toasting. The bay leaves are getting aromatized, fragrantized. They're activating as well. Now we have this big mash, which is great. Oh man, this smells great. I'm so excited. Okay, so now we're gonna add in. This is a can of whole tomatoes that I've crushed by hand. So I'm just gonna add this whole can in. And I'm going to add a little bit of water as well. A little bit of water. Just to thin out the sauce. Make a little bit more of it. And then I'm going to let this come to a boil. And taste for seasonings. Because remember, we didn't salt this at all yet. We only salted the onions at first. But we did not salt the tomatoes. And we just add a bunch of water to this. So we need to add a lot of more flavor into this later on once it comes to a boil. And simmers down a little bit. But this is going to be like a rustic style tomato sauce. We're going to let it reduce. And hopefully it'll be good. I'm having high hopes. I'm just scraping the bottom of the pan right now for all the delicious bits, all the fond and brown bits. My family, my cousins all want me to do Fujianese food now. which I think is really interesting because I always think about Fujianese food as like diner food of like China, or like, there's all the Fujianese restaurants I go to are very like diner esque for me, and I don't know if that's just because of like my own personal association with it, or if it's like truly kind of that vibe. But I guess the reason why I associate with it is because I think of it as like very low key, very like affordable food and that like people just go to for a quick bite, or can go and get like kind of whatever they want. Ooh, ooh, spicy, yum. All right, so we'll let that boil. Let that reduce. We're gonna add. Actually, before we do that, let's add. Whenever I use canned tomato sauce or canned tomatoes, I like to add a little bit of sugar into my tomatoes, just to help it. I know all the Italians are kind of cringing right now, but I think it helps. I think it adds a good amount of like sweetness and gets rid of that metallic taste. And then we're just gonna add about like 2 pinches of salt for now, and then we'll readjust later once this comes up to a boil. In the meantime, I can drop my pasta once this comes up to a boil again. All right. Reppin' Senza, that's right. I am reppin' Senza on the stream. That's right. Senza's our DJ homie from high school. Always good to rep the homie when you can. Rep the homie when you can. How you doing, Martin? How was your day? Hope it was pretty chill. Mine was pretty chill. I got a lot of housework done, which is great. Finally did laundry. Finally cleaned up the house, which it was well in need of. Well in need of some TLC. But now I am starving. 8 p.m. is late for me to eat, but it's okay. I will do it. I will do it. I will do it. Oh, nice. Nice. Get back safely. Get back safely. I hope your weekend went well. No, Martin and I went to see each other actually this weekend. We met up at Essex Market, and we were gonna go to this Indian restaurant that I really wanted to go to called Dhamaka, but it was booked. We did not get reservations because it was kind of like a last minute plan. Um, but instead, we went downstairs and ate Mexican food and pierogies from. Um, Shoot, I'm forgetting the name. It was like Taqueria Oya, maybe? Something along those lines. But they're in the basement of Essex Market, and the owner, or he looked like the owner at least, he had big owner energy. He was like, "Yo, guys, you gotta try our secret menu stuff." So he was trying to sell us on some birria ramen and a birria pizza. But I was very sold on the birria pizza. So we got some birria pizza, and we also got some pierogies from Veselka, which also has a stand out there in Essex Market. I've never had Veselka before. They're okay. The Essex Market ones, they're okay. They didn't have mixed the mel. Thank you. Taqueria mixed the mel. I don't even know if they were taqueria, but they're just called mixed the mel. Oh, it's not mixed the mel, Martin. It's nixtamel with an N, because that's the nixtamalization is the process of which where they take the maize, the corn, and turn it into well, they take the corn and turn it into maize, right? Into the like tamale flour, like corn masa flour. Um, Yeah, that's called nixtamalization. They have to add like a couple of chemicals into it. I think like lye is one of them, or limestone or something along those lines. It helps break out that outer shell and makes it processable. But yeah, they're really cool people. Essex Market is really cool. I really like Essex Market. Would love to vend there at some point. Seems expensive, but you know, one of these days, it's a dream. But the dude was really really cool. We had birria pizza. Ooh, ooh, yum. That's good. He needs a little bit more salt, but it'll reduce down and kind of it needs to cook a lot longer. Um, but yeah, the dude sold us on birria pizza, and it was delicious. Grab they have their next door neighbors slice. I think it's the name of the restaurant. But it's a pizza place also in the basement of Essex Market, and they do pizzas there. So they make a pizza, and they have them cook it over there in the pizza ovens, and bring it out and they serve it. It's basically just cheese and birria on it, on the pizza dough. They cook it off and they serve it with the consomme, the birria consomme, and a little bit of a hot sauce, which wasn't that spicy, but very tasty. It was delicious. The pizza was, I mean, it's all the same ingredients as like a birria quesadilla, right, or a quesadilla, except the corn tortillas. But you know, it was tasty. You dip it in the consomme and you let it all soak up. Very very tasty, very delicious. Um, yeah, wow. I don't have much else to say about that. I feel like you can't eat that. You need it. You need to dip it. Whereas like like a quesadilla or a birria taco, sometimes can like stand on its own. But I feel like you need the dip. You need the dip for the pizza because the pizza doesn't have any sauce, so it needs that like sauce on it. It needs that like kind of little bit of moisture, a little bit of tang, and you get that. It's worked really really well because there's tang in the birria soup, in the consomme. There's usually tang in like a red sauce pizza, right? So there's a lot of flavors that overlap there that make a lot of sense. And I love that it was a cross vendor collab. Yeah, me too. Me too. I love that it was a cross vendor collab. That's probably my favorite part about that. You know, I hate though that my gas range is so weak and nothing boils quickly. I'm starving. I'm getting a little hangry. Not gonna lie. But it's okay. It's okay. We'll deal with it. I'll eat pretty soon. Ooh, it's good. It's spicy. Huge sucker for secret menus and Fuego collabs. Yeah, for real. We gotta get some Fuego collabs and secret menu items out too. Alright. We're just before boiling. I'm gonna add some pasta in here. That much. That'll give me some leftovers for tomorrow lunch too. This way. Give this a mix and let that cook until al dente. Actually, I always with these box pastas, I always like to look at the box for how long. This says 12 minutes, so we do it for 10, maybe 9. All right, so 45, 8:45. We're gonna drop these some of these Brussels sprouts in there as well, just to rinse off some of the salt that I added to this. These are really salted because of fish sauce and also furikake. They're very very strong. Actually, they mellowed out a lot. They mellowed out a lot. Um, Cold, which is interesting. Maybe I don't need to add them into the sauce itself. Into the hot water. I mean. And instead, I'll just cook it in the pan. Hot lid. Put this back over here. frozen paratha, which we ate all the time growing up. We always had this or roti. My dad liked making the instant curry, not the Japanese kind, but the Malaysian kind. And so we'd always have these, and Sophia loves these. Sophia's our little sister. Um, she loves those. That's one of her favorite things growing up, so we always ate this. So it's one of our favorite things too. Paratha, mostly roti actually was what we ate as opposed to paratha. I should use butter. That's okay. I want a new stove. I wish I could install a new stove myself, but I don't think I can. I don't think it's allowed. But man, if it were. You know what the problem with these Brussels sprouts are? They're too strongly flavored for eating a lot of them. It's the furikake. I put furikake in them too, and that really threw it off. Did not need to put furikake in it. Okay, so we're gonna cook the paratha in this pan, which is also the pan that we're gonna use to finish the pasta in. Whew. I am starving. Oh, well, that's cooking up. I don't know what to do. I feel like I want to start doing some challenges here, or just start doing some live testing on stream, which is kind of what we're doing here. And what I'm doing today is I want to try working on a like MSG red sauce, because I think something that's what I envision for myself when thinking about like a consistent menu is more thinking about like a certain flavor profile, right? So like I think I can make a red sauce that is going to be very different than like your bottled red sauces, and I would love to do that. I'd love to make my own kind of red sauces, my own kind of sauces in general, and can them and bottle them so that they can be sold, but also feature those in dishes and when I pop up at places because they seem a little more homey, and also give people an opportunity to buy the sauces there and make it themselves. Then they can watch Twitch, see what I do with them, and kind of try it out themselves. Play around with the sauces. That's kind of my hope, at least. My hope for the future. Give everything just a stir, just to make sure nothing's scorching on the bottom. Right? Yeah. What do I want? I want. I have Parmesan. I believe. Not Parmesan. I have Romano cheese, which I like just as much. So I'm gonna do some Romano on top. Put this up, grate it over, and that'll be tonight's dinner. Wow, this process taking a while. Probably because my stoves are garbage and don't get hot. Ooh. Yeah, so the plan is some tomato sauce and pasta, some Romano cheese, a little bit of Brussels sprouts, and then I have my paratha to dip. That'll be dinner. That'll be dinner, y'all. Y'all, I'm like struggling. I feel. I don't even know who's like watching right now, but I feel I am struggling with thinking about Twitch and maintaining Twitch because I feel like, I'm just cooking dinner, which is fine. I love cooking dinner. I love talking to y'all. But this can't be that entertaining for y'all. No way, right? No way y'all just want to watch me cook and talk endlessly about whatever. So I think we gotta think about some stuff. But I love Twitch because I love sharing this process with y'all. It's all documented here. A whole evolution. I think is going to be really fun to watch over the years, right? Like, because like I believe that this is going to be a long term project. I want this to be a long term project. So I am excited to see the evolution of it, and I love that we're documenting it all now. This is perfect, by the way. When paratha puffs up like this, you're cooking it really well. Um, when you've like rolled a good paratha, when it will do that too. Same with the tortilla, honestly. Paratha and tortilla are very very similar in terms of like how they act in the pan, not really in terms of like how they're made or even like what properties they have. But they both puff up like this, at least good ones. So similar, at least in that regard. The only real difference is that paratha is more like a layered dough. Um, so it gives, it's supposed to be layered and flaky, whereas tortillas are not, right? Tortillas do not have any layers in them, really. These are just about done. And just in time, because my pasta is just about done too. Alright, so paratha's on the plate. Grab my pasta out of the water, add it to this pan. Alright, and then we will add some tomato sauce. Tomato sauce, a little bit of pasta water. Toss. Should have used a bigger pan. It's too much pasta. And let this cook and finish the rest of the way in the pan. Fortunately, like I said before, my stoves are hot trash, so it's gonna take a little bit longer than usual. That is my box grater. There you are. Then we're just gonna grate some cheese in here as well. We'll add some more on top later as for garnish. But we want some of this cheese to help add creaminess to the pasta as well as a little bit of salt. And then let's add our Brussels sprouts too. good so far. Excited to eat this tomorrow too, because I looks like I have enough for like 3 meals here, which is great. I love cooking in bulk. I know not a lot of people do, but I am so used to eating leftovers that like this sings to me. This makes my life. This makes me so happy because it makes my life so much easier. I think that's enough Brussels sprouts in here. I'm like scared to toss it because there's so much pasta in this, so I think I'm gonna make a mess if I try to toss it. But it's thickening up nicely. This pasta looks great. I'm not really used to eating this kind of pasta. But hey, I love penne. This looks like a penne cousin. So my sauce is thickened up. Try some. When the pasta's cooked. I think once this tomato sauce like cooks a little bit longer, it's gonna be really good. Once it just like reduces down a bit, I think it's gonna be really flavorful. Right now it's a little too like one note, which isn't amazing, but I think it'll be fine. Okay, let's plate this up. A spoon. Oops. Big plate of pasta. Pasta and greens. Some more cheese on top. Lots of cheese on top. Because why not? And let's eat. Let's try it out. Alright. So, this is my pasta dish with some MSG red sauce. Take a picture. Ron doesn't yell at me. I wish the lighting was a little better. Make them watch Twitch. Let's try it. This is a great leftover meal. I love this as a like repurposing some things I made before. I feel like that's the kind of food I cook a lot these days when I'm on my own. It's like leftover meals, you know. I was like, oh, excuse me. Ugh. Choked on. Ugh. I choked on the chili. Whew. Yeah, that's pretty good. I feel like I was in such a rut after these Brussels sprouts for a little bit that I like didn't want to cook. I'm glad those never last that long because I love cooking too much. want to dip this paratha in some of this tomato sauce. The tomato sauce. When this gets like thicker, it's gonna be even better. Right now it's a little thin. Still pretty tasty though. I love paratha. Paratha's so good. I remember when we made paratha. Was it paratha or was it roti? No, we made aloo paratha. Similar, but has potato filling inside. Oh. Yum. I'm just scarfing this down. Oh man, can I just say I don't want to? I'm not looking forward to going back to work tomorrow. I don't know if y'all feel the same way, but not looking forward to it. I want another 2 days of no work. If only. I really like these noodles. They're really like toothsome. What's some projects I should work on next? I've been trying to develop a jerk pork recipe, so I might do that on stream. This reminds me, I needed to pull up my notepad and make sure I'm recording what I put into this tomato sauce because I think it's pretty good. I definitely want to tweak it up a little bit though. MSG full time? And what do you mean? What do you mean MSG full time? That's the goal. That's a goal. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. Sweaty. I'm so happy for the rain because it just cooled everything down in New York. And it's fucking way too hot for me. I don't thrive in the heat. I am Rip Chat. Yeah. I think the delay is too big because I'm not seeing anything. I'm not making any connections. I don't know how you fix that. I wonder how you fix that. I wonder if you can fix that. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I just burped. Okay. So this tomato sauce is gonna simmer for another 15 minutes or so while I clean up. Oh, it's coming out nicely though. Um, the more it was kind of bubbling away, the more those spices really got to develop in here. So I really taste them now. Put this in here so I can save it for another meal. Ooh. So I put Szechuan peppercorn in the Brussels sprouts, and I got a bunch of them in this pasta now. So I have that like numbing sensation right now in my mouth. Ooh. Put lid on it. Start cleaning up a little bit. Huh. I'm realizing, sorry, I like lost focus because I was looking at Streamlabs OBS. I didn't realize that they had ads on top until just now. I didn't know if that was like a recent thing or not. Ooh. I feel like I'm still choking on that chili pepper. Still reaping those. Excuse me. Ooh. Sorry, chat. Sorry, RIP headphone users. You know what I'm excited for though? Once I get a little less busy, I can start researching a bit more. I can start doing some more resistance dishes, which I think will be really nice. Because I loved pizza resistance when I was doing it, but I just didn't have the time to do more research. Those dishes were like partially worked on before, so like they've taken me a couple years to develop, or like kind of gather all the information that I need together. So I'm hoping that I can start doing a little bit more research. We focus a lot on like East Asian people, so I want to really trace now South Asian and Southeast Asian migration patterns here and just like intersections, and hopefully bring that to the forefront of like discourse right now. But hey, I guess that's all. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, everyone. Low key chat, low key stream, pretty chill chat, which I'm fine with. Thanks for welcoming me back to Twitch. It's first stream, and I'm like still getting back into the groove of it. I feel like it's been so long since I like talked to y'all, really. But I'll catch you next time. I'll catch you on Thursday. I don't know what we're making on Thursday. I want to work with this tomato sauce and see what we can do for that. But I hope we continue to evolve, and we're always open for all feedback and whatnot. So take care. Bye.